Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about being the I don't even remember what we were talking about. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about being an unmotivated creative. Like so many people, during this time of a pandemic and just, throughout the year or seasons of their life, sometimes we have it to where we just hit a creative roadblock and you just really are not able to be creative. So y'all come sit on the couch with me so we can talk. So first and foremost, I just feel like if you are anyone that does anything in regards to fashion, music, you're a writer, you make jewelry, you have soaps that you make, anything that is pouring from you in an artistic way, I feel like there are times where we really do not have it all together to where we are 24/7 every single day promoting and amplifying just these big creative pieces and creative works where we're just really pouring and exuding things that are coming from our mind, things that come from being inspired by something we see, something we listen to. So I'm just gonna unpack it and really just have a conversation about it, because I feel like during this pandemic I have definitely been in a creative stand still as far as things that I'm supposed to be doing, things that I said that I wanted to try to accomplish within the midst of a pandemic. And to be honest, I've just been chilling, like Netflixing, cooking. Like I literally took the first 2 months of this 3-month lockdown and shutdown and working from home, and I have literally just been Netflix and chilling. So I wanted to first, I'm gonna grab my notebook. Shout out to my homegirl who is the creative and CEO of the Black Queen Planner. I will make sure to put all of her information at the bottom so that you guys can go and support her business. She is 100% Black owned business, and I feel like we definitely need to make sure that we support our brothers and sisters. Also, on the topic of Black owned businesses, want to give shout outs, and I will put the descriptions for Abeillecreations. Shout out to my homegirl, or my fave, Melissa. Also, this new jewelry, Black owned jewelry designer that I found. She is, I'm not sure what her name is, but she was referred to me from one of my friends, and she is the Garden Shop, I believe. I had to write these things down because my memory is bad. The GardenJewelryStore. So I'll make sure to put all of the information down and below. And then of course on my wrist, I'm supporting my homegirl MonalisaG. So yeah, just dope, all around dope. And I have OloriSwank manifestation bracelet. So let us really sit down, be 100% transparent, and unpack what an unmotivated creative is. So if you are ever working on something and you feel like all of a sudden you just have this moment where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't feel led to do it, I don't feel inspired. Or it could even be something where you're led, you're inspired, but you just hit a creative block to where you don't know where to go further. And I think that's where a lot of us end up when we get in these spots to where we're just like, can't do it anymore. Everything comes to a halt. And sometimes the halt can be a day, a week, a month, a year. Sometimes it can even be as short as like a couple of hours or a couple of minutes, or you just need to put it down and come back to it. It's almost like when I was in school and I was like working on a math problem or working on like writing a paper, and I just could not finish it. So what I would do would I would like push away from the table and I would go like take a shower or go walking, but just do something to kind of clear your mind, like that hard reset, and then I would come back and work on it and be able to finish it. Now, not all the time have I always been able to come back and finish it. Sometimes it just gets filed in the filing cabinet of come back to it later, and then when I do have that spark or that burst of energy, then I am able to continue what I'm working. You know, we get into these creative blocks and it can last, like I said, anywhere from a short period of time to a long period of time. I'm also learning that within this time frame, you have to also learn and know certain seasons of like your working pattern. So I notice a lot of times, like in the colder months, I'm really not that motivated because I kind of hibernate. And when I hibernate, I just don't want to do anything. I just kind of take that time as resting, chilling, relaxing, vibing out. A lot of times it's me catching up on rest because work has been demanding, life has been demanding. And so it's just like, hey, it's time to sleep, time to recover. And then once the door opens, you just hit it full speed ahead. And the next thing that I had, and I'm like, I write crazy in my notebook. So having like no inspiration and no drive. So what I have found is that when I don't have any inspiration and I do not have any drive, I just literally sit in it. And it might be that I just need to rest. And I just need to kind of give my mind and my brain and my body time to recoup, time to try to think of new things, or sometimes it's just time for me to learn. So that can be me watching other creatives or me being inspired by other creatives. And right now it might not hit me, but later on it will, because it's planted a seed. And once I see, okay, right now it's just a time for rest, when it is time to hit the ground running, I will be ready, I will be prepared. And what is also helpful is keeping a notebook, keeping a journal, keeping a log, so that you can constantly write down those bursts, or I call them downloads, but those downloads for when you are able to work on certain things. You have notes that you can pull from to help build on. So by no means, just because you're being an just because you are a unmotivated creative does not mean that life is over, the work is over. It just means kind of sit in it, you know, build on those emotions. Sometimes we're working through emotions that we don't really know how to put down on paper, or put down on a canvas, or put into music, or put into writing a story, or whatever the case is, or whatever your creative talent is. The other thing that I had also wanted to talk about in the midst of being an unmotivated creative was the fact that there are certain times you have to know your season. So if I know, for me, I get more work done when it's hotter, I just make sure that in those colder months where I'm not really as active and not really getting out, I still try to find ways to still utilize and brush up on my skills. So if that's maybe watching YouTube videos on editing, or taking a certain class, or going to something that will help me learn. So then, like I said, once I do come out of this like unmotivated rut, I'm able to get back to work, and I'm able to kind of keep driving and keep doing the things that I know will get me to a finished product. Another thing that I found that was so helpful, so helpful, was creating a space that is just for me to be creative. And that is one thing that I really haven't recorded yet, but you'll see it in the next video, because that is part of my getting out of my creative block. I was able to be inspired by, you know, downtime and once I recouped and rested, now I'm ready to create. I have all this energy to work on things that I have not been working on. So I'm recording more now, I'm editing more now, and 9 times out of 10 I find that when you do start to pick up your craft, you just pick up where you left off. It's almost like riding a bicycle. Once you learn one time, you never kind of forget. So you hop on the bike, you already know about balance, you already know about pushing the pedals, you already know how to stop. And then, you know, some of us, we get to the point where we get so excited that we're riding a bike again that we start doing those things that, hey, now I can ride on the handlebars, now I can stand up and pop a wheelie. Like, hey, kids do crazy things when they learn how to do something so simple. Then it's like they have to show everybody that they're a pro at doing it. So adults are the same way. But yeah, so creating a space that is solely for you to come in and relax and vibe. So whether your creative space is just a room full of pillows and a little radio and a journal, that's your creative space. Whether your creative space is a wall of inspiration and you have, you know, other little sentimental things and maybe like a rug and a little beanbag chair, you create your space however you want to. And so if you notice, I am not in my normal recording space, and I'm trying to think. Most times I either record in my living room or my bedroom, and I got to the point where I was just like, yeah, it's fine and it's fun, but I don't always want to have to set up everything to take it back down. And so one thing and one advantage of the pandemic and working from home was the fact that I was able to solely create a space for me where I needed to do my work from 8:30 to 5. And then also I wanted to have an area to where I'm not always being lazy in the living room. I'm not always being lazy and staying stuck in my bed all day in my bedroom. I wanted to be able to leave my living room strictly for my living room, leave my bedroom strictly for sleeping, and then have an extra space to where I can do office work. I can do, you know, setting my budget. I can come in here and watch TV and lounge around and not have to worry about, oh, I've been in the bed all day and now I gotta clean up everything. Like, I have solely created a space, and as I'm looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, I need to hurry up and do this video. But I have solely created a space that is just for me. It fits my vibe, it fits my aura. I make sure every single time that I step foot in here, I keep it clean, I keep it safe. I try to make sure by safe, I'm not always like, yeah, I have friends and I have people that come over to my house, but I always make sure that they respect my creative space as much as I do. And also, with me getting like the little details of everything that I've put in my creative space, I also made it roomy and comfortable to where now half the time I don't want to leave out of here. And I have to force myself to go into my bedroom to like, okay, it's time to go to bed. It's time to leave your creative space. And you can come back to it tomorrow with fresher ideas, with, you know, it's kind of fun to be able to have my own office inside my home. Yeah, I definitely have to get this video done so y'all can see it. And another thing, I also do not call it my second bedroom. I don't call it my office. I have solely created this room and I have called it I've created this room and called it or named it I can't say it. So I have created this space as the Creative Lounge. It is a place where anything can happen and anything can reside. So if I come in here and I feel like I just want to write, I can turn the TV off, I can turn my vinyl record player on, and I can write. And then once I'm done, I can move on to the next thing. If there's another day I want to come in here and I just want to Netflix and chill and I can grab some snacks and come in here, I do that. And then I also have it to where I have a desk set up, so if I need to do strenuous work that causes me to be on my laptop, be on my computer, then I can do that as well. But I feel like once you name it, you give it a name. It's like your baby. Once you birth this idea and this inspiration room, you want to name it. Give it a name. So 9 times out of 10, when people call me and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm in my creative lounge, or I'm in the I can't even say it again. I'm in my creative lounge. So at the end of the day, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to relax. Ever since I have created this space, I have been in such peace, in such alignment, in such harmony with self, that I find myself not stressed. Like, granted, it took a lot of work to create this space, because I feel like during the time of the pandemic, I have been able to go through both of my rooms, living room and kitchen, bathroom as well, and get rid of like unuseful stuff, clunky stuff. And so I literally, during this pandemic, have given my whole house a 180 makeover. And that's another thing. If you're finding yourself being in a creative like standstill, sometimes you need to kind of rearrange some things. So switch your bedroom around, switch your living room around, create a creative space, or flip that creative space around. So then that way it gives you a different feeling, a different perspective of coming home or coming into a space to where you are going to be motivated to work. And then the last thing, once you get this creative space, or the creative lounge, or this place where you can, kind of come in, relax. Now it's time to create. It's time to create. Anything that inspires you, anything that comes to mind, work on it. When you feel yourself getting tired and frustrated, pull away from it. But I think at that moment, once you've done all these things as far as recognizing, why am I in a creative rut? If you can't recognize it, then number 2, get into a space where you're able to just be like, hey, I need to slow down a little bit. Let me think about what it is that my next project is. Let me do some research. Let me try to find something that will propel me to the next level. And then once you find out all of those things, you've created your creative space, then create your heart out. Create your heart out. So with all of that being said, I hope this video was very, very helpful for you guys. I hope that you were inspired to shake some things up in your life, create a creative space, start writing, start journaling, start recording, start doing everything out of the norm that you're used to doing. If you saw my previous video from when I basically had recorded Listen to My Heart, I literally had recorded that video maybe like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, shortly after the George Floyd incident. And usually what I do is I pick up my journal and I write. And I was led that not a lot of times can we tell the tone and the emotions off of words. And so I thought it would be more creative and better to actually see and hear the emotions coming from my heart. So I hope that inspires you by watching it as well. But definitely do not take what I say for granted. Also, do not take it as law. This is just what I have found with being a creative, being an author. The sky is the limit to what we can do. And so don't let anyone limit you or put you in a ceiling, or put a ceiling above your head, put you in a ceiling. Don't let anybody put a ceiling above your head. You always create the door if there is not a door to open. So with that being said, make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe. Share this video with anyone who is a creative, whether they are in a creative rut or not. And then that way we all can inspire each other. And also comment below, like, what are some things that have helped you when you're unable to write, record, whatever your creative outlet is. Just share some things and some tips that have helped you, because with like anything, we are all in a creative space to help. And I think that when you share certain things that help with things that you have going on or help inspire you, it can inspire someone else. So with that being said, I love you guys. I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week. Always remember, be eclectic. One of the definitions of eclectic is a combination of many different individual elements of styles, themes, mediums, or inspirations pulled from many sources. Being eclectic is my way of life.